All right. Hello. Welcome to Team Love Your Life. It's October 22nd. Are we literally almost done with this month? It's crazy. So as always, I'm going to start our call with a little affirmation card. Sorry for my hot mess express. I just got home. It's like a thing. So I am going to just pull one of these, and whatever it is, it's going to exactly be what we need. Yes. I am loved. I am committed to daily practices of self-love, 30 minutes of exercise, 30 minutes of deep breathing meditation, something for every day to tap into that self-love. I am worthy of self-love, and I love myself in order to love others. I am loved.
Yes. That's solid. I like that. I'm loved.
All right. So without further ado, I don't know if you don't know this woman, go follow her like everywhere. She is probably like one of my favorite humans, and it's so cool that this platform was what brought us together. But she lights my soul on fire every time I hear her speak, even on her stories. So Miss Amanda Trojan, I'm going to let you kind of give your story a little bit, and then you do you, boo.
All right. I love it. All right, girls, mute yourselves because it's about to go down. It's just about to go down, right? Maria's like, I just need you to come in and light everybody's booties on fire. And I was like, I can do that, right? I'm bringing you 6-week pregnancy fire, right? I'm nauseous, I'm tired, but I'm bringing it to you. I was like, I'm about to bring it. So like Maria said, if you don't know me, I'm Amanda. Long story short, I've been a coach for a little over 4 years now. I just hit 1-star diamond a few weeks ago after what seems like forever, and I will talk about that in my call. But I'm just happy to be here. Like my life has been changed dramatically from the products, from the people that I've met, from the trainings that I've been in, and like nothing's been the same. Nothing in my life has been the same since I jumped out and said yes to being a Beachbody coach. And just as a premise, like, so you get into this, when I signed up to be a coach, I didn't sign up thinking like, I'm going to be a 15-star diamond and I want to, I didn't have goals like that. When I signed up to be a coach, I literally was like, I want a discount on Shakeology and I wanted extra accountability, because I knew that if I was like, I'm coaching, that would put a fire under my butt that I didn't have before, and it would hold me accountable to my own goals. And that it has. So I was talking to Maria, and I feel like this has been something that a lot of coaches need to hear. You may know it, some of these things, but I spoke on another call and I was like, I feel like the content is just so solid that I wanted to share with you all, because I think that we forget about some of these things. And I think that in order for us to reach what the level of success that we want to be as coaches, I think that these 5 steps are going to help you. So I'm just going to jump in. If y'all are ready, I'm just going to jump in. So my first tip on how to be a successful coach is you have to define your own level of success. Being rich and famous, that may be someone else's idea of success. Paying your bills every month, that might be someone else's level of success. When we hold ourselves to this one standard or this one image of what we feel like success has to be, it skews everything, and then we start holding ourselves to unrealistic expectations. And then when things get hard, we find ourselves being like, I'll never hit that anyway. I'm never going to achieve that. So really finding out, like, this is going to cause you to sit down and to really think about some stuff, to write down some stuff. And the first thing that you need to do is you need to sit down and write what success looks like for you. If you haven't read the book Limitless, Her name is Laura, and I'll send it to Maria. I met her on Instagram, and another coach friend of mine actually tagged me in one of her posts, and I won a copy of this book, but it's called Limitless, and she talks about this idea of success, and she talks about how, you know, the world or all these other people have this idea of what success is, when really our only definition of success is going to be the thing that pushes us forward. Trying to live someone else's idea of success is not going to motivate you. It's not going to make you do your crap when you need to get it done. It's what you define as success. So, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. So if you were like, I signed up as a coach because I want to get out of debt, and that's success to you, then you do you, boo. If your idea of success is, I want to bring my husband home and stay home with my kids, you do you, boo. That's success. My level of success, what I want for my life, is not going to be the same as you want. So you've got to get super clear about what success looks like for you and write it down. Like, we talk so much about your goals. Get that down. What is success? What does that look like for you? The second tip that I would have is, we got to stop comparing ourselves to other coaches. That is the biggest thing when I'm talking to my coaches and I'm trying to instill in them, is that I'm like, you are not meant to be the next Ashley Molstead. You are not meant to be the next Micah Folsom. You are meant to be the next Maria Aponte. Okay? You are meant to be the next Brandy Peterson. You are meant to be the next Jessica. There is no, you cannot do you better than you can do you. So stop trying to be somebody else that you're not. Because again, we start holding ourselves up to this unrealistic expectation, and then we start trying to be people that we aren't, and then people smell that a mile away, and it's fake and it's phony, and people are like, I don't want any part of it. You have to know who you are and be crystal clear on who you are. The good, the bad, the ugly. But you can't be like, well, you know, I've been coaching for 4 years and I've fallen into this myself. So, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm telling myself this. We were all in a pod many years ago, and it was our diamond pod, and it was diamonds who were trying to go to the next level. Cozy was in there. Aaron Decker was in there. Aaron Glover, Lauren, Maria's in there. Like, Shauna was in there. Like, all these people were in here. And as people started rank advancing, and I'd be like, they haven't been coaching as long as I have. What am I doing wrong? And I started comparing my success to theirs. And I started comparing what I was doing to what they were doing. And that didn't do anything but make me bitter. And I don't want to be bitter. I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't join this company to be bitter. I didn't leave a full-time job that I wasn't being fulfilled at and wasn't growing at, so that I could come and be bitter doing something else. Because I wasn't growing, because I wasn't hitting what I wanted to hit, right? Success comes in waves. And when it's your time, boo, it's your time, and you'll know when it's ready to happen. But you can't be like, oh, well, you know, Ruth Schroner's been in the business for just as long as I have, and she's blowing it up. She's a 15-star. I got to be doing something wrong. You're not doing something wrong. Unless you're not showing up every day, then you're doing something wrong. But if you're doing the right things and you know that you're consistent, you're not doing it wrong. It's just not meant for you at that time. And you have to stop comparing yourself, because comparison is the thief of all joy. And this business is supposed to bring us joy. And people will see that. They'll see the joy when you love what you do, when you're passionate about what you do, and you're reaching and talking about, like, that you feel good, that you finally feel good from the inside out, that you have more mental clarity, that you're more positive, that you stopped yelling at your kids because you have this me time for you, that you are meeting incredible women, and instead of being catty and dissing each other around, I did say diss, and I'm so old, instead of talking about each other by the water cooler every day, you get to be around empowered women who are lifting each other up and encouraging each other. Like, that's the blessing, that's the joy. And and comparing ourselves to other people, that's just going to steal it. And guess what? You're better than that. You're so much better than that. You're better than comparing yourself to anybody else because there ain't nobody like you. There's nobody like you. The third tip that I would say is that you have to own your story. And I read a book. I love reading, obviously personal development, but I love reading anyway. And I read this book and it was called Restless by Jenny Allen. And it's a Bible study, but she really talks about how we have this restless soul, right? And how we know that we were created for something, and that we have this just passion inside of us that's like, I don't know what to do with it, but I feel restless because I know I'm called to do something, but is it really God? Is it really me? You know, all these other things. But one of the things she talked about was our story. And she talked about that there's a lot of things that happen to us in our lives that can fuel our purpose and our passion. And one of those is your story. And so for me, you know, my story has evolved over the years, but just kind of a snapshot of what I've been through and how my story's changed over the years. I grew up in a very low income community. I grew up with a white mom and a black dad, and back in the late 70s, early 80s, that was a big deal to people. Like, you know, the mixed kid or zebra baby and all that. My dad was very physically abusive to my mom, to my brother and I. My brother and I witnessed physical violence against my mom when we were little, and I had to call the police. And I mean, like, just really traumatic things. And all that pain, and I could go on and on, but all that pain, all that I went through helped me to become the woman that I am today. And I've been able to own that. I've been able to own the fact that I used to use drugs. I used to smoke all the weed. I used to drink all the alcohol. I used to party all night. I used to go have sex with friends. I mean, they were dudes that I knew, but like, I did all that so that I could fill this void in my soul. I used to eat so I could fill that void in my soul. And all those things helped me as I grow right now and into the woman who I am right now. Because when I am speaking to someone, when I am conversating with someone, when I am posting, I am sharing that I feel that. And you have to own your story, because your story has a purpose, or else you wouldn't have went through it. And so often we're running away from our story, and we let our story put this I'm trying to even think of the right words to say it. It just puts this nasty, mean girl in your head, and those self-limiting beliefs, right? That are like, you can't do this. You'll never be able to do this. You've done this, so you can't do this. And you have to shut it down and own your story and know that your story is going to change someone else's life. Your story is what someone else needs right now, because they are walking through the same crap that you went through. And you have such an amazing gift in your hands with this platform of coaching, that you get to go in and light up someone else's life. So own your story and don't be afraid to use it. Talk about what you've learned. Talk about what you've gained. And even if you're not to the point where you're sharing it publicly, think about all the growth that you've made. Think about the conversations that you have with people when they're sharing with you that you're struggling. All of our pain points, we're not the only ones who feel that pain. And someone else needs to look at someone and say, they got through it, I can get through it too. So own your story. Let it fuel you. The fourth tip really goes back to comparing yourself, but you got to get really, really clear. Like, this was kind of the game changer for me, was getting clear on what my purpose was. Clear on your purpose, clear about what you're passionate about, and the gifts. Like, I have a very strong faith base. And so clear about the gifts that God has given you. Anything that you have a natural ability or gift for, that is your blessing. And God didn't give you that blessing so that you could waste it. He gave you that blessing so that you could in turn bless others. And for me, when I sat down, my purpose isn't to be a 15-star diamond rock star elite coach. Okay. My purpose is to glorify God and help the women that he has placed in front of my life with the tools and the gifts that he has given me. My gift of encouragement. That is a gift from God. That is not me. That gift he gave me so that I can go and encourage and inspire other women. And you better darn believe that if I'm doing that every single day through my posts, through my conversations, through commenting on other people's posts, that I am glorifying him. And that is my purpose. And when we get so clear about our purpose, then the money falls away, right? Because then we're not focusing on the money. We're focusing on doing what God called us to do. Then the abundance comes. Then the blessings come, right? I know that we did that call, and I cannot remember her name. Marie, you know who I'm talking about, Bob Proctor's. I did a call with her too. I know this. But and she talks a lot about the universe, and she talks about abundance and creating this abundant mindset.
Yeah, with Danielle.
Yeah, with Danielle. Yeah. So you guys know, I'm like, mom brain. But for me, it's you can't get unless you give, right? And she talks about that a lot. So why would we squander this gift? Why? I mean, to me, it just doesn't make sense. And I feel like for a long time, I squandered my gift because I was too focused on rank advancing. I was too focused on trying to make money. And I stopped thinking about what my purpose was. And that was to glorify God using the gifts that he gave me to help women in this business with their health and fitness, to be an encourager, to love women where they're at. If they buy from me, awesome. But if I can change someone's life and point them to Jesus, guess what? I'm still going to get that Success Club point. I'm still going to get that money because I'm doing what God called me to do. And that for me, that was like, wow, right? Because then it's not about me anymore. Then it goes into the other person. Then I am spending my time and my precious energy on doing something that I love instead of feeling like I have to do this for something else. I get to do something I love and that I have been gifted to do. So know your purpose, know your gifts. What are something like, I want you right now, I hope everybody's got a pen and paper because I'm going to put you to work. I want you to write down at least 2 gifts, something that you are good at, just natural gifts that if someone said something to you, they'd be like, dang, that's good. Like, yeah, you know how to do that so well. Maybe you're great at talking. Maybe you're a great communicator. You know, it could be anything. I want you to write them down, and then I want to hear some of them. This is going to be an interactive one, y'all. Unmute yourself when you're ready, or I'm going to start calling on peeps. I used to be a teacher. Like, I used to work in prevention, so I ain't afraid. I ain't scared.
All right, I'll go.
Okay.
So I am good, and I feel like I'm very passionate at sharing my story and the obstacles that I've overcome and my energy. I give it when I dance. I give it when, like, it's all in me, and I know that I just project that energy out. I feel like that is what a lot of people need in their life.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. And so your positive energy, all of that is your gift, right? Because that lights people up. That's not something that's not a mistake. You know what I mean? That's something that lights people up. So every time you go on social media, think about those gifts. And that's what you should be posting with. That's what you should be connecting with people with. Think about that, those things that you're gifted at, because that's what's going to help you find your people too. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're like, I'm positive, I radiate this positive energy, I'm a light, you're going to attract those people who are like you. It's just going to come so naturally, right? Like for me, I'm an encourager and I know how to prioritize my time really well. It's a skill and gift that I've learned, but God has helped give that to me because, you know, he blessed me with Raffi, right? So it's a gift that he has given me. And so I can help other moms prioritize their time and their health. which in turn helps them to lose weight. So, I mean, like when you're thinking about these gifts that you have, how can you use that to help your people? Because when you're really clear about that, that's going to help you attract the person that you want to attract. Because you don't want to work with everyone. You want to work with your people, right? Does that make sense to everyone? Am I like, okay. Somebody else. Let's go. Who else? 2 gifts.
I'll go. I guess I would say I'm a good listener. As far as listening to, you know, people in general, friends, kids, coworkers, you know, people coming, you know, just an encourager as well, I would say.
I love that. And listening, that's your tool, right? Listening to women, talking to people, that's your tool, because when someone's a really good listener, you have the ability to hear things in people's conversations that other people may miss because they're too busy talking. When you're a really good listener, you're an empathetic listener, you can reach people on such a different level and hear pain points that maybe they didn't even know that they had. So that's a gift. Use that. You know what I mean? Use that. When you're having conversations with people, you have the ability to listen, and that makes people more comfortable with you too. So I love that. I love it. Let me see. I'm kind of scrolling through here. Who else?
Brandy, your turn.
I was unmuting myself. I would say I'm loyal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm very well organized. And I had a third one, creative.
I love that. I love that. So for you, your thing could totally be like, I help women get organized, right? I help busy women organize their time, and you know what I mean? Like there's so many different things, but those gifts, like all I'm saying, ladies, is those gifts go right along with your purpose. And when you are acting on those gifts, then you're going to meet those women who need your help. Those are the women that you want to help. Those are the women that you want to help. And that's just going to fit. It's going to flow so naturally that you're going to be like, I didn't know why I wasn't doing this for so long. It's just going to come out in everything you do. When you post, share organization tips, right? Like share the things that you're good at, because that's what people want to see, because they do want help. I need help with organization sometimes. Like, come on, bring it.
I literally always wanted to like have my own business to do that.
You do. You do. It's just a different platform, right?
Right.
It's just the Beachbody's the platform, but you're your own boss. So you can literally do whatever you want with that. You know, free groups that talk about, sorry. That was my affirmation. It goes off an alarm. But like do free groups around organization or something like that. Or in your challenge groups, you know, talk about organization and maybe do like a Organization Wednesday. Like there's so many ways you can play around with it. Sky's the limit. You're the boss. You can do whatever you want. You got free reign, girl. I love it. I love those. Thanks so much. Okay. So my last tip, and I'm sure I could probably talk for like ever, but I wanted to hone it down to like 5 tangible things that you ladies can walk away with and be like, yeah, I can implement this today. But the last thing is you have to realize that failure is inevitable. You are going to fail. You will fail. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but you're going to fail and you're going to fail forward. Every time you stumble, every time you trip, that's okay, as long as you get back up. So failing is inevitable, but quitting isn't. And that has to be a mindset shift. You have to be able to accept the fact that you're going to fail. I have had to accept the fact that I have made missteps, that I have not hit goals that I wanted to hit. It took me 2 years to hit Star Diamond. And my goal every time was a big, hairy, fat goal of like 5 star. I've been talking about that for 2 years. And it took me 2 years just to hit 1 star. I failed, but I failed forward. But the thing that I didn't do was quit, because I knew that if I quit, that it would all be over. I mean, why? Why go through all this stuff that I've been through? Why walk through the fire and all the growth and just learning about the woman that I am and who I've become and quit? You know what I mean? So to me, there was no plan B. If you think in your head, like, I have a plan B, get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, I have a couple coaches that are like, well, I have a second job and I'm just waiting for this retirement check. And I was like, look, girlfriend, that's your plan B. And if you have a plan B, then you always have a way out. You can't have no way out. I don't got a plan B. I'm not going back to work. I'm not leaving my baby so I can go to work. That ain't happening. I'm not leaving my baby alone with a nurse. We love our nurses, but I'm not leaving my baby so I can go work full time for somebody else who's not going to pay me what I'm worth. Please. I don't think so. Okay. So if you are like, I have big goals, you have a big vision. And remember, this goes right into your vision. If your vision is big enough for your family, for yourself, you're chasing after that purpose that God put on your heart. There is no quitting. There is no plan B, because plan B is just a fallback. It's just the way out. You'll never get to where you want to go if you quit. But you have to say it's okay to fail. And you have to be okay with that. I think for us, especially for me, I don't know about anybody else, but I know for me that we live in this culture where it's like, you fail, you're bad, you're not good enough. And you probably are like me and have that self-limiting belief that I'm a failure just because I didn't hit this goal. I'm a failure. I'll never make it in this business. It's too hard. Shut it down. Those are just self-limiting beliefs that are trying to hold you back from reaching your goals and becoming the woman that God created you to be. And if you don't believe in God, the universe, or whatever, you know I love me some Jesus, but that's just holding you back from who you were destined to be. You weren't destined to be sitting here just miserable, doing the same old crap. You were meant and made to be extraordinary. And you got to understand that. You have to know that. You have to not just get it in your head. You got to get it so deep in your heart and so deep in your soul that every single thing you do, every breath is like, I'm extraordinary. I was created for more. I was created for a purpose that is bigger than me. And that, girls, that's gonna light you up. That's gonna light you up. That's gonna help you be successful. And that's gonna help you get to where you want to be in this business. And look, let's be honest, screw the business. This is where you can be in your life. In your life. This is just the platform, but this is how you want to be in your life. No more being miserable. No more letting people tell you that you can't. Yes, you freaking can. Yes, you freaking can. You can't. You are a successful coach. Because remember, you define your success. You are a successful coach. And you have every right to walk across that stage. You have every right to hit every single freaking goal that you want to in this business. You have every right to. There is nothing that's holding you back. Nothing. Not one thing. The only thing that can hold you back is you. And when you shut that poop down, and you say, yes, I can, and you do it no matter what, I'm going to see all y'all walk across the stage. I'm going to be in the audience. Hey, yes, girl. Yes, honey. Yes. I'm going to be with you guys. I'm just going to be sitting there cheering you all on, because that's what I want. That's what I believe. That's what I see, because you all have so much potential. You just have to believe that you have the potential to do all that. That's it.
Yeah. Like, tears were flowing. Yes, mic drop. Agreed. Holy goodness, woman.
You know, I get so hot doing these calls, man. I don't know why we're sweating.
I can feel that fire. I can feel it.
I got sweat in places that we don't even want to talk about right now.
Honestly, so many, oh my God, so many nuggets. I could listen to you all like 24/7. So just FYI, like, just keep talking, because I could listen all the time.
Tell my coaches that.
Huh?
Tell my coaches that.
I know the feeling. It's all good.
When you hear it from somebody else, it's just a little bit different. You know what I mean?
I agree. Like, my kids don't listen to me. They listen to other people. It's just, whatever. But I think that I think that a lot of people struggle with, you know, their one of the things that I feel like I've heard a lot of is people struggling with owning their story, thinking that they don't have a story to tell. And that is so not the case. There's so much in your life that you kind of just like let it slide by without understanding that you overcame something, that you have been strong, and you are the epitome of that. And I like honor that in you so much. And I want all of you to know that you do have a story. There is a story behind there, that there is struggle in your life. Your story is as worthy as anybody else's.
So Brandy said, and you know, I saw Brandy was like, I don't got a story. And this is what I would say. Your story doesn't always have to be something that's negative. You don't have to have trauma to have a story, for sure. Like I mean, you know, am I like, oh, I'm so excited I had trauma? Like, no, like, heck no. If I could take it all back, I probably would, but I wouldn't, because it made me who I am. But I would say, you know, is there an area in your life where you are like, I just feel like something's not right, like something's missing, like there has to be so much more? That's a story. If you're like, you know, there's got to be more than just this, where you have this kind of yearning and you're like, that's a story. So like, Brandy, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm just going to put you on the spot. Tell me what makes you think that you don't have a story.
I don't know. I just feel a lot of the times that it's like I follow one girl that she went to high school with my brother, and she is going through infertility and stuff like that. And her story is big out there. And I watch that and I see that, but like, people relate to her. And I don't feel like I have a lot of relatable things. Like, yes, I have, like, I know Maria's going to be like, seriously, but like, I just don't feel like, I don't know. I just feel like there's nothing that's super thrilling, and like, to be able to be like, I need to talk, people want to hear this, like, if that makes sense, you know?
It does. And I don't think it has to be thrilling. I would say, think of who you were. Like, who were you before you started Beachbody, before you started working out, you know, all that stuff? Who's the person that you were?
I don't know. Nobody really, I guess. I feel like there was a lot missing. Come in here so my husband can watch TV. I guess I feel like, I don't know. Like, I was a military spouse, really, that just followed her husband everywhere. I mean, I don't know. Didn't feel like there was much for me, I guess, in that sense, because I don't have children. See, and I feel like everybody uses their children and people relate to children. I don't have children. I just don't. Like, so for me, it feels like I don't have that connection with people, and I can't find that connection.
There it is. No, there it is.
That's exactly it.
That's it.
That's exactly it. I'm listening to you and I'm like, that's your story. That's your story right now.
You have a beautiful particular niche that a lot of us don't have. You can talk to military wives who feel like they have no connection, right? You know, have you traveled a lot?
I mean, not really. He travels more. I wasn't very fortunate to get to travel
a lot, right?
Correct. But
there's
like,
a lot of military spouses who can understand that and who can relate to that. And those are the things that I would share. Those are the pain points that I would share, and just be like, I needed that connection. Or even now, you have a connection with us.
Well, and that's really kind of where it goes mostly, because I didn't have anybody like this. You were talking about the empowerment earlier, and what this group, just people, like, I remember going to the cruise or to Summit and just never seeing somebody talk crap about anybody. You know, it didn't matter how big or how small or what, it didn't matter. There's always so much positivity, and I loved that. But I feel like people don't understand that. They don't think that that's a thing until you really are in it. You know what I mean? Like, because let's face it, this world is so negative, you know? So to find a group of people like that, people, when I tell them that it's such a positive vibe, they like, okay, like you get that whole sense. And I don't know. And like as a military spouse, most military spouses have children, lots of children. And I just like, and some of us, like, we can't have them, but it was never something that was medically told we couldn't have them. So I don't have any 100% saying like we can't have children. But at the same point, like we've been married 15 years in a couple weeks and we have children, you know? So I have that, but I don't talk about that a lot. I don't talk about that to anybody really, just because I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. I just
infertility struggler over here.
Right.
When diagnosed, it was unexplained infertility until I found out that I had a black fallopian tube. So that is a thing, unexplained infertility. It is a thing.
I think a lot of it is I've never gone to go get it explained, right? Because I just so much of me doesn't want to know. Like if that, you know, I just don't want to know. So I feel like I can't put that out there to people because most people that say they're going through infertility know that they're infertile. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, it's never been said you are infertile or he is infertile. So I don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, she doesn't know what she's talking, you know?
Screw them.
I mean, obviously
screw them. First of all, this ain't for them. If that's what they think, then they're not your people. Because there's going to be plenty of women. Okay, my friend Danielle, her and her husband have been married for 10 years. And she was like, we never got pregnant. She was like, I don't want kids, so no big deal. They didn't want kids. She just found out she was pregnant. After 10 years. Never went and got it checked out. No, nothing. Wasn't really concerned about it. Now she's freaking out because she's pregnant. She's like, what the heck? So you're not alone. I think there's plenty of women. And it's, you know, that is something that's hard to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if people heard your story, you'd bring a lot of people out of the woodwork that might say, you know what, I'm struggling with that too. And I don't feel comfortable talking about it, but now you've empowered me and they can relate to you on that level.
That's what I was going to say. Just know you're not alone in your struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not. You just have to, you know, kind of just put yourself out there. You know, you're putting yourself, you're showing you're being transparent, you're being vulnerable, which is being human, because what you say may be something that somebody else is scared to say. So by you putting yourself out there, it's opening up a topic for someone who is struggling on the inside with the stuff that they got going on. So, I mean, that's something I've learned.
And I guess like, a part of me, I've just learned to deal with it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like makes sense. I've gone all these years, like there was so many years I didn't want kids. And then when we finally were like, okay, let's decide, let's go for it. And then it couldn't happen. I always kind of had that wall put there so that if it didn't happen, I knew that I could protect myself. And I don't like that's, so I never really, I don't know, like, I don't talk about it because I want to say it doesn't feel relevant, but I don't think that's the right feeling.
It's relevant. You just connected with every single one of us, like on a deep level. And that's not struggles that I've had, but I wanted to hear more about yours. While you were just talking, I just wanted to keep hearing more because you opened up and you let those walls kind of crumble a little. And you told us some of the things you don't like talking about.
Your whole tone changed. Everything changed. You were completely open. Mm-hmm. You were totally different. Like midway through, you opened up. You were like hook, line, and sinker. Like I was all in.
I heard the quiver in your voice, and I was like, "Well, dang, like, bring it." No, really. And when you said being human, that's connecting with people,
right? That's
connecting with people. So yeah, you know, it's to some people, like, who cares if they don't think it's a big story, whatever, it's big enough to you.
I mean, that's true. And for sure, finding the right people, I guess. It's not even a matter of the right people. It's just a matter of you being you.
Your vibe,
unapologetically you, regardless of what anybody thinks.
your vibe will attract your tribe, mama. Like, you have so much to give. Like, one of the most kind-hearted, compassionate, and loving people that I know is staring me right in the face right now.
That's
like
right.
But I've known that since, we were in like 6th grade.
Sure.
Not everybody knows that.
Right.
And you have so much to give, and you have a powerful story. Because I know someone since she was like
Right.
this, and how much of a daddy's girl she was. She still
Right.
is. And how much it's hurt her to lose that.
Right.
And the
It's
struggle.
just, that's really hard to talk about more for like my mother's sake, because she sees all my stuff. And like, I know that relates to a ton of people, losing my dad at 22. But I feel like it's so hard to talk about that because my mom sees all that stuff. And because a lot of why I'm doing this is because he was 48. I will be 48 in like 12 years. So that's super scary. But I'm afraid for my mother's sake, if nothing else, that it just brings up all these, I don't know, like.
Do you think that it would make her bring up a lot of stuff, or do you think she will feel proud that her daughter was able to come out of that shell? And
I don't know. Because
okay, well, talk to her. Just talk to her and just say, I feel like I need to talk about it. And if she doesn't want to see it, you can always make it so she doesn't see that post. Yeah. But you just said that's a huge part of your why. You need to be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, I talk about it once in a blue moon, but I feel like
you said so many things though. And in that whole spill, so many things that I'm like, dude, that's a post right there. There's another post. There's another post. Because you're like, the simple thing that you said, I don't feel like it's relevant. That is a post. I don't feel like my life is relevant to what other people are going through. All these people are having all these huge struggles. And I feel like, how come I struggle when mine doesn't seem that hard in comparison, but that doesn't take away the hard. That doesn't take away the hard. Yours is still hard, but that's how people feel. And do you know how many of us, every single person on here, I guarantee has felt that way before. Like, how dare I complain about my little problems when so-and-so is going through this? Every one of us has felt like that.
I literally just had that conversation the other day.
Like, so our group, our challenge group or whatever is in a messenger thread, and we literally just had that conversation because she's going through something with her mom.
My mom just found out she's got cancer, and tomorrow we'll find out more. Well, it's her 2nd round of cancer, and
go ahead, let her know what you said 2 days ago.
I don't remember exactly, but I just felt like I pull away when that happens because I feel like I'm trying to like figure out my own feelings and stuff.
And what happens when you pull away, Brady? What do we do?
Yell at me? No, I'm just kidding. Right. But that's the thing. Like I said, I actually said that I didn't feel like that's relevant for other people because somebody else is in our group they've got a family member just found out they had cancer too. And like, I never want to take my problems and take them over somebody else, if that makes sense.
That's what you're doing. And Brandy, when I listen to you and I hear this, these are all self-limiting beliefs where you think my struggle is not relevant to someone else.
The sad thing is we both do it.
Right. We all do it. We do. So you have to really shut down that limiting belief that's telling you no, because every time you start building this wall, you start to like pull away, you start to shut down, and then you're like, no, it doesn't matter. No, that's somebody trying to hold you back from what you were meant to do. That's somebody trying to steal your purpose away from you, girlfriend. And you cannot let that happen. You cannot let someone steal your purpose, because you were meant to go help other people who are dealing with this. You are meant to help other women that are struggling with caring for a parent that has cancer. We're all going to go through something, but it's how we deal with it that is going to be the maker or the breaker. Because you can go on social media and you're right. You see people who are negative and all they do is complain. You're not complaining. You're sharing how you are overcoming these things.
Right.
You're sharing how you're able to sit in this group on this call. There is not one single coincidence that we are having this conversation on this call right now, that you are being supported and loved on by other women who are letting you be you so that you can be the best you for somebody else.
Right.
But every time you say it's not relevant, nobody's going to relate, girlfriend, that's just the enemy that's trying to steal. He's trying to put that comparison and trying to steal your purpose away, and you can't let him do it. You got to shut it down. You got to be like, nah.
Well, and honestly, like really quick to piggyback off that, it's so selfish of us. Like, and I hate to like throw us under the bus, but Brandy, I did not know that about you. First of all, I love you anyway. You already know that. But my dad died when I was 21, and he was 52, and a lot of health issues, and is a huge driving force why I do this. And for so long, I never talked about it because I was like, I don't want to make it about that. I don't want to seem like I'm attention seeking. I don't want, like, and Amanda's right. Like, we are overcoming. It's not like we're going out there and sharing all this negative. We're showing the light, and we are seeking the light. We are getting through these things, and this is how we are getting from A to B. And if you are struggling with that, that's how I'm going to help you get from A to B. I'm going to show you what has worked for me and what has helped me. And if not, it's almost like we're doing a disservice to the other Brandys and Shaunas who have lost their dad, who have a mother that is struggling, like who has been exposed to kids. Like, oh my goodness, like, it's your message. That's who you are. That is a pillar of who you are. Like, without your dad, there is no you. And you need to, you know what I'm saying? And I get that it's hard for your mom. And to have that conversation, I agree with Decker, like, have that conversation with her. And then maybe if needed, block her from the post. Like, maybe, like, if you need to kind of protect her from that, I don't know that situation.
Right.
But oh my gosh, like, not that it's about social media, but girl, you've got post after post after post. It's not just about the social media part. It's about sharing the core of who you are and why you are the way that you are and why you're doing this. How effing blessed are we to like be on this call all together? I'm like hives and chills head to toe.
I'm freezing.
I love you guys so much. Like, all of us have a mess.
Yep.
It is our message. Every single one of us. And if we don't share that, it's a disservice to every single person that's waiting for you, Brandy. Yep. Not for me, not for Maria, not for Amanda. No one, like, for you. Anyway, I love y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm muting.
Hallelujah. That was powerful.
I was tearing up when you were talking.
No, we love you, Brandy. You know that.
No, I love you guys too.
On the spot, and like I want to start seeing some more stuff. Have you read any Brene Brown's? But have you read like The Power of Vulnerability? That's a really
The Power of Vulnerability.
Vulnerability,
so good. And if you get in Audible, she does it in Audible is amazing because she does it in a format where she's teaching it at a seminar, and so she's live and it's like a lot more interactive, like just funny. But my husband even loved it. It is so good.
I gotta say, I know it feels like we're putting Brandy on the spot.
No,
and I love it. And you all, I mean, we are pouring love into you. You know, it's always the best place. But the best part is like Jennifer, Ruthie, Shannon. It's like all of you guys can pull from this and apply it to whatever situation. It translates. It all translates to every single one of us. So even though we're talking about specific situations for you, Brandy, it's like, it's so powerful because it can be applied to all of us and used to craft our story, our brand, and to reach our tribe. Because if we're not sharing authentically like that, you're not going to attract the people that you need to be surrounded with on your tribe that you want to have sleepovers with. And
That's right. And I love that Erin said, you know, she shared a part from her devotional. She said, when we open up about our emotional challenges, admitting that we're not perfect, we give others permission to share their struggles. Together we realize there is hope and we do not have to suffer alone. And think about how many women are out there. My specific target audience obviously is women, especially moms, but think about how many women are out there suffering alone.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many women are like, nobody else is going through this. I'm all alone. And they feel isolated. And you know, the enemy loves to isolate us, because when he can isolate us, he can try to rip us apart and tear us to shreds. And guess what? That ain't happening. So right. I love that, Erin, by the way. I absolutely love that quote. So yeah, you know, and if you are in the same spot that Brandy's in and you are like, I don't know what my story is, I encourage you to read the book Restless, because she has a whole chapter about it. But find a personal development book that talks about, you know, that shows you how to find your story, that helps you really dig in deep, because really you have to dig in deep, right? Because the thing that sets us apart, I feel like, as coaches, especially as good coaches, as coaches who are going to rock this business, because we're all going to rock this business, is the fact that we share our stories. Because anybody can go on and sell. Anybody can hold up a bottle of Shakeology and be like, my favorite foods, look at my greens, or whatever that the It Works girls are doing now. Look at my wrap, look at my hair long pills, whatever. That's selling. I want to hear somebody's story. That's going to make me relate to you. That's going to make me want to work with you. That, you know, I have a girl, she sells Monet, and her and I were friends. And I had another girl who actually was one of my challengers who sold Monet. She fell off the face of the earth. This girl and I, she lives in Maumee, and I'm like, girl, I go out there for my Super Saturdays. I have a coach out there, and blah, blah, blah. And we were just chatting and stuff. We're always talking. And I was like, hey, listen, I need some shampoo for my son. And I bought from her because we connected, we related, we vibed with each other. I wasn't going to go to the girl, even though she was my challenger at one point. She fell off the face of the earth. You know, people want to work with someone that they can connect with. That's what's going to set us apart from the rest of the other MLMs, is that we have a story and we have tools that have helped change us. And it's not just the products, it's the personal development, it's the community. It's not just Shakeology and the programs. Those are awesome, but there's so much more woven, you know, that's weaved into it that makes it so special.
I would suggest too, all of you guys reading the Brené Brown books, all of them, but Power of Vulnerability or one of the others that Amanda suggested, and then get on a call, whether it's a team call with Maria or whoever your coach is, or just find a group of ladies and get in there and then talk to each other. Start without a topic in mind besides each other, getting to know each other. Because Amanda, Maria, Shauna, and I, the only way we connected is by talking to each other and sharing our story. We went to these events, like Glover and I, this is a good example. We went to a retreat and spent 4 days together. I knew nothing about this girl, nothing. The next time we went to Summit together, we sat there and chatted and connected on such a deep level that she's one of my favorite people now. But it wasn't until we started talking and getting deep that we realized we had that connection. Because we could show up at the same event and we're like, yeah, we're interested in the same thing. That meant nothing. We didn't talk again until Summit, because we just had no reason to. But these girls, we chat all the time now because we connected. And that's what I feel like your audience does with you. But to find your story, you just have this conversation. And it's things like this, like us telling Brandy, that's a story, that's a story, that's a story, that's a story. Sometimes you need other people to give you that. And so give you the feedback. So I encourage every single one of you to get on with other people and talk about yourselves and your lives and get that feedback from other people, because it helps you to own certain things. Like, I always thought of myself as just this introverted, scared, never able to do certain things. And then it was actually Keyshawn, who's one of the corporate reps. And I was on a call with her and she's like, tell me a little bit about you. And she, I had 10 years ago, I had cancer, I was pregnant, I had all these things going on. I was just busting through all that for a second. And she's like, wait a minute, go back to that for a second. So we talked about it for a second. And she's like, dude, that is freaking brave. And I'm like, Like, I've never thought of myself as a brave person, ever. And then I look at it and I'm like, dude, I was brave in that. And then I find other instances in my life where I'm like, yeah, I was brave there too. And do you know how empowering that was to think of myself as a brave person when I'd never done that before? She pointed it out because I shared my story with her. So it's very powerful. If you have never done that, open up like Brandy just did. She didn't want to open up like that, but she did. And dude, all of us connected with Brandy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all.
Way to go, Brandy.
That was perfect. Gosh, my heart is so happy. Yeah, my heart is so happy. I have had the amazing privilege to know these ladies somehow or another. And the fact that these ladies connected because of me, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Brandy wouldn't have known Shauna, Amanda, Erin. None of y'all would have probably known each other if it weren't for this one right here. And I think that that's where we don't give enough
credit to ourselves.
Exactly. Because your tribe won't know each other. One of my girls is in Alaska. How the heck would have any of you all ever met Jessica if it weren't for me? Like, that's the power that we have in this business. And I think that that's the bomb. I think that's awesome. All of my dance parties, like, I have people that are asking me to be in part of our dance parties. I think that's freaking amazing. And it's all of you connected one way or another through me.
I love it.
And that's where all of you have that power. So,
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Love it.
I so love you guys so very much. Thank you so much for this. Anybody else have any questions or any feedback or anything before we jump off?
Amanda, I just want to say, I have to tell you, like, you had some serious fire and passion, and I loved every second of it. It was definitely, I'm so glad I didn't think I was going to be able to make the call, and I'm really glad I did, just because if not for everybody else looking me in the face, that's what I always say about our group anyway, is it's that mirror you don't want to look into sometimes, and people tell you like it is. And in some sense, like, that's hard, but I love it. And I just want to say thank you.
Ah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I mean, that's why I love doing what I do. And it's crazy. Like, I want y'all to think about this too. I never would have thought that I would be speaking on other people's calls, that I would be encouraging and inspiring anyone else. Like, never, ever in my wildest dreams. And it's gone beyond Beachbody. But again, this has been the platform that got me there. And the same is so possible for you guys. And, you know, I just look at you all and I see just incredible potential in your lives, in your business, to reach out and get whatever you want. And I believe that it can happen. I believe that with you just being you and using the gifts that God gave you, you're going to rock it. You're all going to rock it. And you're going to change people's lives. And you don't even know it yet. But I see it, because if somebody didn't see it in me, I wouldn't even be here right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So,
I agree. National wake up call. Like,
you just have so much you have so much passion, like, and you could feel it rev. And I just think that that's where I felt like I was watching a national wake up call.
It's so funny. I feel like I want to get up and like walk around like, I had a call with my corporate rep this morning. And, you know, he was like, tell me a little bit about you. And I was like, my national wake up call, like, at the beginning, I'm going to be like, should I even share this part, you know? But that's exciting.
I don't know. I think what you just shared with us was so great. That could be your national wake up call. I mean, it was
from smoking weed and drinking wine, buying fitness on infomercials that she never used, to you know, 5-star diamond elite in 4 years. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but yeah, that's one day, right? I'll probably pee my pants and I'll have to wear a top I'll probably have to wear a tank top because, you know, I get like really hot and sweaty and I'm like, my boobs are sweating. I got crotch sweat. And they're going to be like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, I just
You just have one of those fans that isolate like on top of you just so you can be like,
my phone.
All of a sudden you're doing this. They're like, what are you doing? I'm just really hot.
And knowing me, because I'm incredibly awkward, I would be like, I've got crotch sweat right now. Give me like 2 seconds. And, you know, everybody be like, oh. You know, Mike would be like,
Sandy, just please hold for a second because
Sandy's going to be like,
and everybody on Team Inspiration is going to be like, she did it.
That's our girl.
Yeah, she did it. It's just, it's just me.
Real.
It's just me. It's just how I roll.
She's saying all that stuff that people are doing. They just didn't say.
Right. Right. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Freaking
awesome. I love you guys. Thank you, Maria, for having me on. I'm so glad that everybody could jump on. I hope this call blessed you, you know, beyond belief. And, you know, you can follow me. Maria, give everyone my Facebook and Insta stuff. So if they're not following me, they can. I always talk, I have coaches that aren't even a part of our downline, sideline, upline. I'm just like, look, you're family, you know what I mean? And we got to be here to support one another. So I have lots of coach friends, and I believe in inspiring and encouraging and helping everybody out. So if you were like, hey, how'd you do this? Or how'd you do this? Or what do you say? Like, dude, hit me up. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. And I'm gonna love on you like no other. That's for sure.
Yep. And we'll love on you and Rafi all and all the babies.
The new yes.
No baby.
I'm so excited.
I love you guys so much. Thank you.
I love
Thank you. I hope this was like a freaking amazing Tuesday night. I gotta say, I'm like,
it was so much better than homework.
Right?
This happened.
A glass of wine and we'd all be like, hey.
Now you're talking my language.
Somebody's gonna have to drink it for me.
Oh, yeah. I'll do it. I got it. I have a Halloween party on Friday. I'm gonna drink enough for everyone.
Yeah, have some for me. And on the cruise too. Like I'm gonna miss Shauna and everybody and partying with everybody. No more late nights for Amanda on the cruise or on the Punta Cana. Because she's gonna be freaking 7 months pregnant. So it's a blessing, but I'll just let you. My sister's going to come with me. So I told her, I said, you can hang out with the girls and I'll hang out until I got to go.
You can still party until you're just exhausted.
You can just rub that belly.
Use the belly as motion.
Drink my virgin drinks and make sure they really are virgin.
Yeah, no kidding. Somebody test them first.
Yeah, I'll be like, take this. All right, ladies, I got to go get this kid, make sure he's sleeping.
Love you.
But I love you guys. Thanks again for having me speak.
Thank you for everything.
Bye.
Bye.